Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, welcome to Python programming session. We have enough strength to get started the things. Let me share my screen once again. Uh, yep. So let me ask one more thing from you all. How was yesterday's exercise? So, guys, just I want some sort of acknowledgement from you all. Everybody got that what exactly I have asked you to do, and I have showed you the even solution. What exactly, how exactly you need to approach for it. So still, if anyone having any doubt on the one exercise which we have done last class, so please come back to me and please by saying like, sir, I need proper further explanation or what. So guys, I'm just I just wanted to confirm from you all if you everybody got that proper explanation, proper understanding of the exercise which I gave it to you. Please do let me know. Anyone wants, because I have got yesterday I have got a few pings from you all. I don't know, I don't remember exactly who were they, but I have received few pings by saying like, sir, can you please repeat this entire exercise again. So I'm hoping if they have spent some more time, or they might have watched my video, last video, they they may get a proper understanding. But yeah, still, if you persist the same issue, or maybe few people are still wanted me to continue with the flow, or maybe they want me to explain again same thing, then please just ping me on my chat so that I can further proceed. Otherwise, I just I'm gonna cover next topic. So guys, I'm just giving you a few seconds. So please ping me if at all people want me to repeat, or maybe want me to clarify another. Hope everybody would be able to see my screen. If yes, please acknowledge me. Yeah. Sir, you are going slow. Sir, please go like this. Sir, we are able to understand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 525 roll number. Apart from that, yeah, just wanted to know from others as well. How do you think, like, do you want me to again explain the exercise which I have covered last time? If yes, please do let me know fast, because I have a lot many things which I need to cover today as well. And yeah, one more thing, today I'm gonna give you another practice session, which is not that much, you can say, like theoretical, or maybe I'm not gonna ask three different type of questions, but I'm gonna ask something which I have already covered with you. Okay, so nobody is pinging me for repeating the same, so let me just move on to the next. By the way, before moving, let me just show you my entire example where exactly I have placed all the three questions into the one place. So that is how the exercise comes. So this is what the solution which I have gave it last time. So I have just used one tool and imported reduce, and then what else, give me a moment. Yeah, guys, so where we were, yeah. So I was explaining you about solution which I have gave it to you, which is nothing but I have used three different type of list. One contains floating element, second contains a string element, or third contain the number. That's it. And then all the three function which I have asked you to do, and I have merged into the one. And each function doing their one question. It is basically that purpose actually. And then I'm just printing for them. Nothing else I'm doing apart from these three functions. Yeah, guys, please, can you all go on mute, or else I need to make you into the mute all. Yeah. So let me just go back, or maybe you can say like into the new topic, which is nothing but the list comprehension. I have covered this entire comprehension chapter, you can say, and I have told you like these are not really a function, but they can replace function, map, filters, and all. So you can assume it actually behave it like similar to the map and filters. So quickly guys, I want a response from everyone. What is the output of this first line of code, and then tell me the output of second line of code, tell me the output of third line of code. Quick responses. So everybody are quite aware about what is list comprehension. I have already covered this topic. I don't remember the date, and I do remember like it is being covered last month only, this month, in the beginning of this month, I guess. But yeah, I'm expecting from everyone to respond and reply me back using what exactly the output of it. So it's a kind of practice session which see, sometimes it happens like your university, or maybe in your technical interview, or maybe you can say technical written exam, when it is going to happen, or maybe multiple options, they may come up with this kind of approach, and they may ask you what is the output of that, and they must be going to give you some four options. Out of that you have to choose one. So I don't want to give that kind of options, because I'm feeling much more confident on you, so that you would get, you would be able to give me the answer. So I have got some responses from 520, 556. Thank you so much for the quickly response. I'm expecting at least 5 to 10 people to respond me by giving the answers. Guys, please quickly start working on out whatever I have given to you. I don't know, means how you guys are thinking about what approach do we need to take for this. But truly speaking, it's a very simple problem. So okay, people are giving, thank you, 536, 545 again, they are giving answers. Okay, so I guess everybody has given the answers for first line of code. Then let me just move on to my Jupyter notebook. Okay, people are keep on responding. Thank you so much. Let me move on to my Jupyter notebook, and there I can write. So here I am giving what is that, list comprehension, uh, com compre list comprehension practice session. Um, Now let me share my Jupyter notebook with everyone, and let me code what exactly I was asking from you all. So I got few more responses. 556, thank you so much. 520 again. Yep. Okay, so first of all, let me just go back to the the very first example. So here what I have written is x is multiply by 2, and then what exactly it was for x in range 9. See, I was getting like this. I don't know how many of you got the right answer, but I'm pretty much sure many of you have missed 0 and 1. and if you have kept a 0, then you have missed one, and then many of them have must. Okay, 556, you were absolutely correct, and 520, you are absolutely correct. Yes. So, guys, please applaud for these two guys, 520 and 556, because these two are only the answers which are being correct. Okay, let me just move on again. Go back to second problem statement which I have given to you all. Yes. So, what is that? Second problem is saying the same kind of issue, or maybe same kind of statement, but if x modulo 2. So I don't know why you guys are not able to do this kind of exercise. It's a pretty much simple and pretty much straightforward. Now let me share my Jupyter notebook. So this is what exercise I have given to you. Second example actually, or maybe you can say second question. 0, 4, 16, 36, and 64, and I have got few answers from a few people. So 556, you have given absolutely correct answer, and then 520, you are also correct, and again none of them. Apart from these two people, no one else is correct, and no one else is trying to reply me back by saying answers. Guys, please do something, otherwise just acknowledge me. Maybe I'm not giving my 100% or what, because if you will come up with this kind of responses, then what should I do? Now at least you guys should give answer to last problem. So if you want me to share that, I can share you. Yes, I am sharing already. Guys, at least you should provide me the answer for this. No one? Okay, I have got some reply. So this is what the problem statement which I have given to you. I got few answers. Okay, okay. This time some I guess one or two new faces are coming up. So okay, anyway, I'm just expecting from everyone to ping me what exactly the output. So you guys need to participate on each and every practice session. So if you will see, what I was doing here is x plus 5 for x in 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there, what you are trying to do? You are trying to do addition from x1 and then 2. Okay. And then 102, 102, 103, absolutely correct. So 586, you were correct. 558, you were also correct, and 570. 520, you have also absolutely correct. Yep. Thank you for that kind of responses, because I was expecting the same. Okay. This will cover you. Maybe means these are the people, I can say these are the people who have remember what is list comprehension, and whether I have taught this topic or not. And apart from that, why I was looking into this, because these kind of function can replace your map and filter function. That is why I am showing you. Now I have pretty much covered generator and iterator. So again, sometimes it may be useful to return a single value at a time instead of an entire sequence. A generator is a function which is written to return values one at a time. Okay. The generator can compute the next value, save its state, and then pick up again where it left off when called again. Okay, just guys, again, you have to just look into the definition which I'm trying to say, or maybe I'm trying to show you all. I don't know whether you guys are able to see this screen or not, but yeah, you are able to. Yeah. And syntactically, the generator looks just like a function, but yields, actually it yields a value instead of returning one. A return statement would terminate the sequence. Are you getting? So generator is nothing but it's a kind of function, or maybe you can say it exactly looks like a function, but it yields a value instead of returning one value actually. And in the same time, I have even showed you like a generator is a function which is written to return values one at a time, and generator can compute the next value, and it saves the state, that means current state, and then it pick up again from where exactly it left off when you will call it again. So if nobody has got that, then just we will move on to practice, so that you can get idea what exactly it was. Now here, so I have defined one of the function which is nothing but the squares, and here I have just mentioned for I in range x you have to yield. And now I have taken one for loop from in which I am just trying to start I in a square of 4. I just want from everyone to give me the output of this first code, or first block actually. I am waiting for the responses. Please guys, quick responses so that we can move on to the very new and fresh topics actually. No one is replying me. Why so? You still need some time, then please take your time. I'm giving you another 2 minutes to work on this. So, thank you so much. I have got reply from so many people, you can say. And that was the response which I have got, actually absolutely correct. So 556, you are very good today. I don't know how. 558, you are also pretty much fine. 528, you were wrong in between something. Yep. Okay. 570, somehow uh you are also right. 570, you're right. 536, you're also right. Okay, so those who are just a passive kind of a listener, for them, I just wanted to show you the code and I am gonna run in front of you all. So guys, that is why I keep on saying, like, these 5-6 students are going to get a good opportunity anywhere, because they are applying their brain as well as they are working on the stuff which I have doing, and they are looking into my lectures. They are also listening every day properly. They are maintaining some notes and all others. Those who are thinking like by listening to me is enough, that is not at all enough. Anyway, so I hope everybody would be able to see my screen. Let me run this. Yep. So 0149. So this is what the output. Many of them, those I have taken the roll number, who have replied to me, and those were absolutely correct. Very few have given the wrong answer. Okay, then again let me just go back to the generator practice session. Yeah, so this topic I have also covered. Can get next element in sequence from the next function. How can we get that? So what would be the output for this? Guys, I want output. Okay, I got some output from someone has replied attribute error, sir. Okay, few one is saying attribute error. Okay, so let me write here z equal to square 4 and then I just wanted to write z dot next. Yeah, let me just share my screen and let me show you what exactly the output. Absolutely wrong, whoever giving answers. Okay, so here I'm gonna write like this. Z or next would be what? 0. What is that? Oh wow, somebody has said attribute error. So thank you so much for that, who has given that answer, attribute error. But why we are getting attribute error? Somebody can say. So 558, I guess you are working on terminal in which I am working on, so that is why you are getting this. Okay, so anyone, any guesses why we are getting like this? No one? No one. Okay, then let me just move on. Now, persistence of a mutable default argument. So those who are curious to know, then please generator can compute or not, sir, next value. So that you need to find out. I have covered already this. So I have just wanted to, I wanted to check you everyone, because I'm completely upset from the last 3 4 lectures, because I keep on, from the last 2 months I keep on giving the lectures, and you guys are, just listening. If I ask something, very few of them are replying to me. So I just wanted to, keep some practice session in between of my, whatever topic I'm gonna cover. So that is why I keep on testing you all. Okay. Yeah, persistence of a mutable default argument. Mutable default argument persists between calls to the function like a static variable in C, and this may not be the behavior which we generally desire. Okay, and if not, the copy the default at the start of the function body to another variable, or move the default value expression into the body of the function. So I don't know how many of you got this point, because I'm talking about the mutable default argument. Yesterday class I have covered this, by giving one function where exactly in function I was, using default value, and in that function I was, kept something assigned to that value, and when I have removed that, whatever you are passing through the function, that value is going to assign. If you are not passing anything, that default value is going to be taken. Okay, with this we have finished this entire topic, you can say. Okay, and now I am gonna move to a very good exercise, or you can say like very good topic, which is, everybody want that. So yeah, graphical user interface. So I have to basically remove this, and here just GUI programming. Okay, now in GUI programming, what do you understand? What is graphical user interface? Anyone would like to, introduce that? What is graphical user interface? Anyone? You guys never heard about it? If you have heard about it, then please do let me know, and at least you should come up by saying, sir, I wanted to explain, I wanted to, make an attempt. No one? Okay, so let me just move on to the definition. First of all, it is an interface that is drawn on the screen for the user to interact with. So clearly it was showing it is an interface. Okay, and the name stands for graphical user interface. So that is what it is, an interface which is drawn on the screen for you people to interact with. How you guys are going to interact with the system? Or maybe I have given to you one of the application, how you guys are going to interact with that application? Anyone? Guys, this is very simple, I must say, very simple definition. And everywhere wherever you are trying to use some application, you might have seen like they have provided some interface from where you are trying to log into the, application, or maybe you are trying to do something from the application. So I don't know why you guys are unable to correlate that application and that interface which is present in your application, because you guys, everybody has a smartphone, I am pretty much aware about it, and everybody is using that smartphone. You are pretty much, good in social media, and you guys are using that entire application which belongs to social media or may not belongs to social media. Okay, and all other application also you might have using that, and everybody is, pretty much aware about, and pretty much try to use all the things which are available on, application. So if you will think in that perspective, you must have used that interface, and you might not able to understand what exactly that interface is. Now, common component which you might have seen, means everybody would be able to recognize that some sort of menu which you will get in some application, where, you just you when you log into your college website, you must have seen there is something called introduction, and there is something called about, and there is something called, gallery, and there is a lot of things which is present in the tab kind of thing. And each tab, when you click, it will show you the basically about us and about the gallery and lot of stuff which was mentioned in a website. So that is what the menu is. Okay, and then when I say main window, when you know see something on your screen, and that is inside that there are multiple widgets, multiple buttons, or multiple things are available. So that is what we used to say is main window. We have toolbar. I don't know how many of you are quite aware about it, but anyway I am gonna cover later on. Toolbar as well, where exactly you will get basically all the things which you wanted to do, like save, exit, and kind of thing. Buttons, where exactly you need to perform some actions. Maybe you wanted to, sometimes you might have open some application. Maybe you can say like college fees form you wanted to submit, let's say. Now there you must have seen submit button, or maybe you have seen cancel button. That is nothing but these are the buttons. And when you submit, when you click something, something has happened on the back end, or maybe something has, some message will pop up and it will show like your application has been submitted, your fees has been submitted, something like that. In same way, labels in front of that, when you will some application which is ask you to enter your name, enter your roll number, enter your something, maybe mobile number and all. So where it is being mentioned enter something, that is nothing but you can say like, guys, give me excuse. Sorry guys. Yeah. So when you see something which you wanted to click, some event has to perform on the back end, that is nothing but your button. So you have to just imagine where exactly you are using these kind of components which are common in all the interfaces, or maybe you can say like it is common in all the GUI platform or GUI application, GUI based applications. So I don't know, means you must have getting some JNTU. I guess your college is recognized or maybe affiliated with the JNTU. There you must have seen some application form where you wanted to submit some fees. When you wanted to submit your fees, you must have seen there is lot of buttons available on that screen, or maybe you have seen like it will ask you, or maybe it will prompt you to enter your name. And where it is being written enter your name, that is nothing but your label. And in front of that, where exactly you wanted to enter something, that is nothing but the text box. Okay, where you wanted to write your name. Okay, so that is where you have to correlate what is text box, what is toolbar, what is button, what is labels, where exactly you have to put text entry. So text entry, I don't know how many of you are aware about it, but text entry, where exactly they will ask you to write something, some sort of description, or maybe you need to describe something about yourself. So if there is a box which is accept more than 128 characters or more, that is nothing but your text entry where you have to enter something. Now, Python provides various options for developing GUI, and some of them I have listed here. First one is nothing but the Tinker, you can say, is the interface to the TK GUI toolkit. I will show you how exactly you can use this particular toolkit. Another one is WX Python, which is nothing but the open source Python code for basically WX Windows. Okay. Third one is JPython, and it is a Python port for Java which gives you Python script seamless access to Java class library on your local system. Okay. So far we are good. If yes, let me just move on to the next topic, or maybe further discussion on Tinker. So when I say graphical user interface, Kinter, so it has sort of some programming. It consists some library, or maybe you can say it is nothing but the standard GUI library for Python. Okay, and when you use Python with Kinter, It provides you a fast and easy way to create GUI. So when I say fast and easy way to create GUI application, that means if you wanted to develop some application which is nothing but the, you wanted to interact user with your application, and backend you do whatever you want to do, that is none of your business. You can perform later on how exactly backend works, but in front of user, from where user interact with your backend server or maybe backend, you can say like stuff, then at that place only you have to decorate it. So when you have to decorate it, you have to use button, you have to use labels and text boxes and all. So there, basically you have to decorate it properly. So now here, it also provides you a powerful object-oriented interface to what? To Kinter GUI toolkit. Now, suppose you wanted to create one GUI application. I'm gonna, I'll in front of you all, I'm gonna code you how exactly you can, make one application through which user can interact. Okay, so you have to just create one application, and there you just give one button or maybe you text box, and there you have to just enter your name or whatever, and submit your application. So I will show you that later part, but before that you have to create dummy kind of application. Okay, to create dummy kind of application, what you need to do, you have to import Kinter module first, and then you have to create the application main window. Application main window, because application contains some window, so you have to call that and you have to create that window if it is not there. And now afterward, in that window itself, you have to add some widgets, maybe one widgets, maybe multiple widgets to your GUI application. Okay, and then you have to enter the main event loop to take action on each event triggered by the user. That means when you submit on a button, that which signifies you have triggered something. You don't know what exactly you have triggered, but you have triggered something. So when you click on submit button, something has to happen on the back end, and then some message come up or maybe some pop-up will come up, and by saying like your application has been submitted or maybe successful message kind of thing. Okay, so when you click on submit, some trigger will go, and whatever entries you have written or maybe you have filled on your application form or maybe in one form, that will go into the back end and that will stored in your database. I'm not talking about database because this is entirely Python programming class. So when we talk about database classes, then we will cover how exactly it can be stored. It's nothing but the table kind of a structure. When I talk about data, database, so either you can talk about SQL, either you can talk about what, Oracle, or based on MySQL or all. So there also your entry will go as in table. So when I say as in table, that means there must be some application ID, then your it is going to accept your name, it is going to accept your roll number, and blah blah, you can say. Now, so when I trigger here that some event is going to happen on the back end, and you really don't care about that, because ultimately you will get one pop-up from where you will able to understand my entire thing is being saved in the back end. Okay, now here I have showed you how exactly you can create dummy application. So first of all, you need to create dummy application. For this, I am giving here one example which will import Kinter library, and then in test I am just calling .tk. Okay, the .tk is nothing but the, you can say like, widget will come up for this. Now here is the code which I would like to add some widget will go here in the main loop. So I am gonna write test.main loop. Okay, so if everybody would like to interested in this, so let me just code for everyone. Let me just share my Jupyter notebook so that I can show you how exactly you can create your GUI application. So here, when I say, first of all, you have to just import, you have to import what? One library, which is nothing but the Kinter, this library. And then you have to write some variable, take some variable where you have to just call tinker.tk. Okay, once you do that, then you have to just call test.main loop. Let me write main loop. Okay, yeah. uh, Hope everybody would be able to see my Jupyter notebook. Yes, perfectly fine. So just 3 lines of code will give you what? It's a normal dummy application. Okay, let me just run this. Okay, I am getting something here. Module Kinter has no attribute tk. What does that mean? Anyone? Any guesses? No. It is saying there is no module tinker which has an attribute tk. So you have to think what exactly went wrong here. So here I have written like this. Let me run like now. You can see here, instead of capital K, I have to use small k. Now you can, I don't know whether you are able to see one form. Okay, let me share with you the form. Okay, this particular form, you can see this is nothing but your tk. Okay, which come from tkinter library, or maybe you can say like GUI library. I hope what it gives you, it gives you to minimize, it gives you to maximize, or maybe if you would like to close this, it is going to provide. So by default in GUI application, it will give you this form. Now in this form, maybe further if you want to enhance something, then here you can just give you label, and in front of that you can provide text box, again label, text box, again label, text box. Like that you will go on further, and at the end you have to just provide one button, maybe two button you can say. So either you can provide cancel, or maybe along with cancel you can provide submit. And once you will submit, you have to perform some event on the backend. So when you click on the submit button, that event is being performed, where your entire data which you have written on your application, that is going to be saved on the backend. If you will do cancel, then you don't need to perform any event on the backend. Just you need to remove all the elements which you have written, all the text boxes which you have already filled, that has to get emptied. Okay, so guys, hope this makes you some sense. If yes, then we can further move on. Is there any doubt so far? Okay, somebody has replied me. Okay, what exactly he's saying? A graphical user interface is a type of user interface through which user interact with electronic devices via visual indicator representation. Okay, perfect, fine. Yep. So far there is no doubt. Even I got message from few more people who are saying like there is no doubt, sir. Okay. If there is no doubt, let me just move on to the further topic. What exactly? Yep. So in Kinter itself, we have some widgets, or maybe you can say common components. So common components, when I say, when you use any GUI interface, okay, either you can use WX Python, either you can use Kinter,
you will get these common component which are going to be used in your entire application building. So what it does, it generally provides you various controls. These are nothing but the controls. Okay. Now here I have just mentioned about about some canvas, check button, frame, label, and how what exactly it does. So button is generally used to display something, some button in your application. Canvas, which is used to draw some shapes in your application. Maybe you wanted to draw circle, maybe rectangle, maybe trapezium, different sort of shapes you wanted to draw, then you have to use canvas. Check button, where generally we use to display number of options as a checkbox. And suppose even before this slide, when I was talking about list comprehension, there I have showed you one code exercise. Now in that code exercise, if I might have given you four options, and in front of that I have provided you check boxes, or basically check buttons. Out of four, you might have chosen two, or maybe one, or maybe three, or maybe all the four. That kind of buttons are known as check buttons. Okay. And frame, which is nothing but the container widget to organize your other all widgets. So when I showed you the tk widget, that is nothing but our frame, which is nothing but the container. Okay. And now in further you wanted some other widget, then you have to keep add on that frame. Okay. Now label, I have simply showed you, or maybe I have given you a better example. Here I have just defined how exactly you have to write it down. So label is widget which is used to provide a single line caption for all other widgets, or maybe you can say it's a kind of any image, maybe it contains image. Okay. Now apart from this, let me just move on some of more attribute which are common to GUI application. So common attributes are just like colors, size, fonts, anchors, relief style, dimensions, cursor. So these are the common attributes. Okay. So either you can use Kinter, either you can use WX Python. Wherever you will go, you will get these kind of attributes which are common. Because see, font size has to be the same, size also has to be, if you want to vary that, that kind of functionality is already being given. Color based on your need. Okay. And dimensions. So these are basically the common attribute which is being provided to you all when you are trying to use either Kinter toolkit, or maybe you wanted to use WX Python. Now geometry management, what exactly the geometry management is: all Kinter widgets have access to a specific geometry method. That means some widgets, or maybe you can select all the widgets, have access to some of the method which are available for you, or maybe you can select which are basically available for geometry only. You can use to manage your all the manager classes. Maybe you wanted to create some grid where exactly you can maintain something like table. So in a table you have some maybe listed down some name along with their roll number, or maybe you want to give marks as well. Let's say that is the table. That table you wanted to get into your GUI application, then you have to use this kind of geometry. Which kind of geometry? Grid kind of geometry. So there you have to use the function which is nothing but the grid function. Okay. And there you have to import it, and there you have to call it your table. Now it is being also used to organize widgets throughout the parent widget area. So suppose you have already bigger widget which is nothing but one kind of frame. inside that you have multiple widgets. When I say multiple widgets, means you can correlate this with multiple frame present in one bigger frame. Okay, so just visualize this. So there is one frame, inside that there is multiple frames, and each frame contains some buttons. Each one of frame contains, table. Another frame contains some sort of labels, let's say, and one other frame which contains pictures or maybe images. Then that kind of, management is called as geometry management. There you will use pack method, okay, for entire your frame, to manage your entire frame. Then you will use grid method, which will manage your table and, dimensions of that table, something like that. And then place where exactly you wanted to place your this particular widgets, or maybe one specific widgets you wanted to place, top right corner, or maybe you wanted to place it top left corner. It depends on your, basically how the requirement come up with you, how the requirement exactly is, and then based on that you have to just place all the, geometry, or maybe you can say like these kind of table, or maybe a different sort of widgets. Okay, that's it. You can say like that is what present in, Kinter library. And if you want me to, develop one single or maybe standalone application based on Kinter, that I will again show you, though I have showed you one. But if you still want that, then I will show you that. Okay, apart from that, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt, guys? If yes, please do let me know. Is there any doubt so far? No? Okay. If there is no doubt, then we are good. Okay, no doubt so far. Thank you so much for that. And here we are good to close our session. So thank you so much for the participation. And still, if somebody has persist any doubt, please do ping me, or maybe you can ask later on, or maybe tomorrow you can, when I start my class or maybe my session, then you can, ask at that point of time. So thank you so much for the participation and providing me some sort of, responses. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.